Namaste. To end this very special week, we have with us Swamini Vimalanandaji from the Chinmaya Mission of India. Swaminiji has had a career as a speaker, as a thought leader, as an exceptional woman in the way she leads several yoga students from around the world. And yet, she started off as an architect. Her way of speaking, her way of explaining, and the way she draws attention to every part of yoga that she's explaining is so interesting. I'm sure she will hold you enthralled during the entire lecture. She's the head of the Chinmaya Mission in Coimbatore in India, and also is the Chinmaya Vision Programme and International School Director. In this lecture, she's going to take us on a journey to discover the fundamental question of who am I? Who am I? Do we relate ourselves just to our body, to our mind, to our soul? How does this relationship with our body, our health, then lead us to exploring different dimensions and aspects of ourselves? Now, let's listen to her explain to us the teachings of the Vedanta.
समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Hari Om and Namaskar to everyone. We are going to start this discussion with a universal question. And the question is, what is the goal of human life? We are not asking what is your professional goal, or a personal goal, or a social goal, or a national goal. We are asking this question, what is the goal of human life? We all have a human body, and therefore, all of us must have one common goal which we are supposed to achieve through this human body, human mind, human intellect, human personality. So what exactly is that goal? Because we are all human beings, that goal has to be common. So, one would think, and it is true, that as a human being, I should be humane. Why? Because I'm a human being. So that is like a common goal for all of us. Interestingly, it cannot be called a goal. It is like expecting a dog to be a dog. Similarly, expecting a human being to be what? Humane is a very, very natural thing. I cannot even call it a goal. But if you see in this world today, even if you are humane, you are awarded. You're given prizes for just being good and nice and compassionate towards others. So obviously, it means the majority of us are not even fulfilling this very basic thing of being humane. However, as I said, being humane cannot be a goal of a human being. It is a understood fact that we should be. So again, the question is, what is the goal of all human beings, of our life on this earth? If we think about it, we come to this conclusion that all of us want happiness. Okay, before I go into this inquiry is possible only for human beings. And therefore, the thing which is the speciality of a human being, something that we have with other beings on this earth don't have, that the purpose of that would be the purpose of human life. Now, if we think, we as human beings have this very, very special ability called the Viveka Shakti, simply translated as intelligent thinking. Intelligence. It's not that other beings are not intelligent. They do have a rudimentary form of intelligence as well. But there's a certain type of ability that we have which they do not have. And the second, extremely important, I mean, really, really important, is the Varana Shakti, the ability to choose, the choice given to us as human beings. We can choose most things in life. In fact, every moment of our life, we are choosing. A dog or a lion is choicelessly a carnivore. A cow is choicelessly a herbivore. But you and I can be what? A vegetarian, non-vegetarian, vegan, etc., etc. We have a choice. Now, this choice is given to us because we have got what is called the Viveka Shakti. This choice is not given to animals because they do not have this higher order thinking, intelligence, Viveka Shakti. So what is expected of us? To do Viveka and then choose. Not choose and then do Viveka or not do Viveka at all. So let us all start thinking using this very, very special ability that we have of higher order thinking to inquire into this extremely fundamental question of life, and that is what? What is the goal of human life? This is the thinking that we can do. It's called sadhana sadhya viveka. The ability to think of the means and the goal. Very often it happens we mistake the means for the goal and the goal for the means. When you ask someone what is money, for a lot of people it is the goal. Some people who say it is the means, when they are in the satsang, when they go out it becomes a goal. But to understand what is the means, which is the means which will take us where do we have to drop the means, which is the new means we have to adopt, for what goal, etc. This is very, very basic thing which we all should as human beings think. So this question again comes, what is the goal of human life? All of us, with no exception, absolutely no exception, want to be happy. Do we want to be happy today, tomorrow, or day after? We want to be happy today, tomorrow, and ever after. There's no time when we say, no, I don't want to be happy. When I asked someone, they said, no, I like to be unhappy. It's strange to me. I said, how come you say that? He says, when I talk of my sad story and tell my friends, they sympathize with me and I feel so good. I feel so happy. So does she really want to be happy? Unhappy? No. She only wants to be what? Happy. So all of us, with no exception, want to be happy. So the so-called goals that we give, the short term, the long term, the intermediate goals that we talk about. Let us say I want to be an engineer, or I want to become a multimillionaire, or I want to be a doctor, I want to help society. All of this we do for the sole goal of being happy. You sit in front of me right now, wanting knowledge. But supposing this knowledge came with a lot of pain, I'm sure all of you will run away. You're not going to sit there. So, in and through this getting of knowledge, actually what you want is to be happy. And as I said, we do not want happiness which is temporary. We actually want happiness which lasts forever. Eternal happiness is the goal that we want. Now I ask you the next question, how much happiness do you want? Can you quantify happiness as 1 kilo, 2 kilos or something like that? No. But if I say you get X amount of happiness here, and in the next place you get X plus Y being a big quantity or even a little bit more, you definitely will go to that other place where you are going to get more happiness. So how much happiness do we want? We want maximum possible happiness. None of us have ever had this experience, enough happiness. I don't want any more of it. I can't stand it. I can't take it. None of us have this. It doesn't matter how much happiness we get, we just want more of it. We never want it to end. So what does it mean? That all of us, zero exception, want eternal and infinite happiness. That is the single human goal. It doesn't matter whether you belong to, you're a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or a Buddhist, whether you're a man or a woman, an African or an Indian or a Japanese. It doesn't matter whether you're an atheist, a believer, non-believer. It doesn't matter at all. This is universal. All of us want eternal and infinite happiness. Imagine, from birth to death, morning to night, all of us are looking for that. Don't you think we should have found it by now? In this room, all of us, supposing a key is lost or something is lost, and all of us put forth efforts and try to search for that, don't you think we would find it? So many of us looking into this place and trying to find, we would have found it. But interestingly, all of us look for happiness. None of us can say that we've never had happiness till now in our life. All of us have experienced happiness, absolutely without exception. Yet we keep looking for happiness. Maybe it's not the type of happiness that we've been looking for. I want eternal and infinite happiness, and what I have got in my life has been temporary and finite happiness. That's a fact. That's why our search keeps on going on. So, the next question is, can I just drop this idea of eternal and infinite happiness? Forget it. In this world, there's going to be only temporary and finite happiness, so just let me settle for it. Okay, today make this decision and say, okay, from now on, temporary happiness. Can you do that? You can't. It's interesting. When you say, okay, drop this, goal, but you can't. Why can't you? And how do you say there is no such happiness? So let's make this inquiry a little deeper. And we will keep on looking for it till we get this. It's like that. If I use a certain brand of soap and I don't get that, it's not that I won't bathe till that time, and I won't use soap. I will use some soap. But this is the brand that I like. And so I'll keep looking for it till I get it. I won't be happy. Similarly, I want eternal and infinite happiness. Till I get that brand of happiness, I want to keep looking for it. In the meantime, all temporary happiness, most welcome. Not that I'm going to reject any of it, because I'll never reject happiness. So, what happens? Let's think of where we look for happiness and where we find this happiness that we do experience. In things, in beings, in circumstances, in relationships, etc. So let's take one thing as an example and find out if the nature of that thing is happiness. And if it is happiness, then by the law of this, if it is over here, it could be in X, Y, Z, any of those things. It's like when you put rice for cooking, when you want to test whether everything is cooked, you take one thing, one grain of rice, and you press it. And you find, okay, this is well cooked, then the rest is naturally well cooked. So let's take one example, and food is always a very good example to take. So let's take rasgulla. This is a chocolate, something sweet, because most people like sweets. So supposing this has got happiness, it is by nature happiness. Happiness is its nature. Then everyone, at all times, under all circumstances, should be happy with it. Sweetness is the nature of a sweet, laddu, sugar. Then morning, afternoon, night. Anytime, anywhere, it will taste sweet. Why? Because that's its nature. If happiness were the nature of this object, anytime, under every circumstances, I should be happy when I eat the laddu. But what happens? You're sleeping in the night, someone wakes you up at 2 in the night and says, okay, you want to be happy? Laddu. You're probably going to box it. Yeah? Or you have your 5th laddu. You still could be happy. But if you have your 10th laddu, maybe if your capacity is so much, your 20th laddu, it's going to be a positive source of unhappiness. But if it was the source of happiness, by nature, if it was happiness, even the 20th month would give us happiness. So many people don't even like sweets. So therefore, if you take this example and put it on anything, any circumstance, any relationship, you will find that happiness is not the inherent nature of any object, being, circumstance, or relation. So, where is this eternal, infinite happiness, this elusive thing called eternal and infinite happiness, which everyone in the world has been searching for? And not just now, from time immemorial. And will continue to look for it. That goal is not going to change 500,000 years later, or maybe so many years earlier. It has not changed. It cannot change. Now, in this world, there are two entities. One is I, the experiencer of the world, and the other is this experienced world of things, being, circumstances, relations, etc. If it is not in the experienced world, then by the law of remainder, where is it? It is here. It's like a person looking for a lost needle in their veranda. And when the search continued, someone came and said, what happened? What are you looking for? Can I help you? I've lost my needle. When all of them looked together, they could not find it. Then asked, what happened? He said, I lost it in my room, but there's more light over here, so I'm searching in the veranda. They can keep on looking for it, it's not there. Similarly, you're looking for this happiness, elusive happiness called eternal infinite happiness, and we're not finding it. Maybe it's our own true nature. It's nature of I. And with that comes this very, very important, the topic that I'm going to be talking on today. Who am I? Very important, very universal. This is something all of us should ask and should get an answer to. It's so basic. Now, when we ask this question, someone will say, this is crazy. Come on. Right from my childhood, I've been told. And I know, forget about being told, I know who I am. Why do I need you to tell me? Or why do I have to even inquire about it? And what do you think was some higher order thinking of who am I? Am I crazy that I don't even know who I am? Let's still think about it. Who am I? Am I a name given to me? The name was given to this body. It was given after I was born, or sometimes before. Nowadays they choose a name before. So I can't be a name. Because whenever you are asked, who are you? You just give a name. Normally, and you give relations with respect to someone. I'm the daughter of so-and-so, the wife of so-and-so, or with whatever degrees you have, like I'm an engineer, with your professional degrees. This is all you give. We are asking, who are you? So we are always giving our relation with respect to X, Y, Z, with some degree, with some this, with some family, with some this. When I say I'm an Indian, so with respect to a country, I say I'm an Indian. So we always give this. So we are asking the question, who am I? Vedanta says, you are this eternal and infinite happiness. Now this is a dramatic statement. What? Me? Miserable, helpless, hopeless? Me? I what? Eternal and infinite happiness? That sounds too far-fetched. But as the logic went right now, since I am not, the eternal and infinite happiness is not in the things of the world, it has to be nature of the I as the experiencer of the world. And with this comes a very, very interesting conclusion. Very interesting. What is the goal of human life? Eternal and infinite happiness. Who am I? I am eternal and infinite happiness. When you put this together, you get the conclusion, I am whom I look for. I am actually searching for myself. And where am I searching for myself? Everywhere else. I am looking for myself. So this question again becomes extremely important of who am I? This brings us to the next level of higher order thinking, Viveka Shakti. This Viveka Shakti in Vedanta is the ability to distinguish between the eternal and the ephemeral, Nitya Anitya Vivek, the self and the not self, Atma Anatma Vivek, the seer and the seen, Drashta Drishya Vivek, and so on. We are all going to do a little bit of this. A couple of principles that I will talk first. Right now we are on this question of who am I? We say we are the experiencer of this world. This is where we came to. You're not the experienced world, we are the experiencer of the world. I am right now looking at all of you. You are listening to me. So you are the listener, I am the speaker, right? So you all are experiencing my talk and I am seeing you. So for me, you are the experienced world, and for you, I am the experienced world. So we are asking now this question of who am I? Who is this experiencer who is sitting in front of me? Who is this experiencer who is talking? This is what we are going to be thinking about. So we are going to do what is called Drishya Drashta Vivek. Drashta Drishya Vivek. The distinction between the seer and the seen, the knower and the known. This is a higher order thinking which we as human beings are capable of. Animals can't do. Similarly, the sadhan, sadhya, vivek, the distinction between the means and the goal. Again, this is not a distinction, this is not a type of thinking that animals are capable of. It's not possible for them. But we can do it. So let's do it. Because that's what we are meant to do. So, couple of principles. The drashta is different from the drishya. The seer is always different from the seen. Hang on. Imagine if I see a donkey, and if it's not different from me, you understand? No, I always remain different. The scene is different, the seer is always different from the scene. So, drashta is different from the drishya. The seer is different from the scene. The scene can see the seer, but the seer cannot see the scene. I can see the mic, but the mic cannot see me. I'm the seer. The mic is the scene, the experienced, the known. I can see it, but it cannot see me. Now you will say, Swamiji, we are sitting in front of you. You are seeing us, but we can see you. I am seeing your faces. Your face cannot see me. Right? I am not seeing anything else but your faces, your expressions. So I am seeing the faces. The faces don't see me. It is something within that is seeing me. Is it true or not? So the seer can see the scene, but the scene cannot see the seer. And the seer is different from the scene. So now, with this, let us think. So I see the mic. The mic cannot see me. I am different from the mic. Now, what is this I that is seeing? The eyes are seeing the mic. Right? So the eyes are different from the mic. And the mic cannot see the eyes. Similarly, my mind knows what my eyes see. Isn't it? My mind knows that the eyes are seeing the mic. My mind knows the condition of the eyes. My eyes are seeing well, or my eyes don't see well. Whatever is the condition of the eyes, the mind knows. So this is the knower and this is the known. The knower is different from the known. The knower knows the known, but the known cannot know the knower. The mind knows what the eyes see, but the eyes do not know what the mind thinks. Is it true or not? Seer is different from the seen. The seen knows the seer, but the seer cannot, and the seen cannot know the seer. The seer knows the seen, but the seen cannot know the seer. Now, let's go a little further. Who knows what the mind thinks? I ask you a simple question. Do you understand what I am talking? You will say yes, or you will say no, it doesn't matter, real. You say, okay, I did not understand anything you spoke. Fantastic. Who did not know that you did not understand? I know that I didn't understand. Oh. So I is the knower who knows what the mind does not understand. So the mind becomes the known and I become the knower of my mind. The knower is different from the known. The knower knows the known, but the known cannot know the known. I know what is happening in my mind, but the mind does not know the I. So now we have this question. Who am I? We are all in this right now inquiry. Who am I? So first we said, okay, I am not this experienced world which is outside of me. That we have understood very clearly through our thinking. Now we have this whole big personality. We have the body, we have the senses, we have the mind, the intellect, right? So now we ask, who am I from all this? So the first normal this is that I am this body. The name is given to this body. So the next conclusion normally is what doesn't matter. I think that's the first level of understanding. Okay, I am the body. I am the body. So if I understand that I am the body, then I take care of my body. I see that it is well maintained. It's like I have a car. What do I do with my car? I see that it is well maintained. I have to do a journey, etc. So I have to take care of it. So it's important to take care of this body. This is a vehicle which I'm going to be using to do my journey. So I have to take care of it. It should be well serviced, working in the perfect condition, etc., etc. So body is important? Yes, because that is so-called our first identity. It's only when we think further we go to some other identity, but our first identity is always what? The body. So the health of the body, the care of the body. However, it is not that when you have a car, you wash it, polish it, paint it, and never use it. No, it has to be used in a perfect way, in a better way to get to your destination. So the body is not to be kept fine for the sake of itself, but it is kept fine in a fantastic condition for the sake of something which is higher, nobler, because you have to take a journey with it. It's like your vehicle. So now, the next thing is, after you understand that, okay, there is something, there's a vehicle. It's to be used by the owner of the vehicle. There's someone else. There's another entity. So we go to this. Normally, this understanding is that I am the mind. Many times you hear things like also, as the mind, so the man. Angry mind, angry man. Good mind, good man. When we say a person is a good person, what do we mean by that? We mean his mind is good. That's the normal understanding. So therefore, the next important thing that we have to take care in our personality is our mind. We have to make it beautiful. See, to keep the body beautiful and all, we do so much. My God, this industries of makeup and health and yoga and medicines and mind. It's just endless. To keep the mind beautiful, the mind healthy, mind in a great strong condition. How often it happens, the mind is so weak, mind is so restless, so unhappy, so full of, it's like this software in our computer, and if we in our computer, if we do not install an antivirus program, we are going to get invaded by hundreds of things which come from outside, and we can generate our own wonderful problems as well. And it actually happens that we have so many of these problems that come through the mind. When you keep the body clean, at least it remains clean for 3 hours or maybe a whole day, or this. But the mind can get polluted with anger and jealousy and prejudices and God knows what in a second. And to take that out, sometimes it takes a lifetime. So therefore, the next layer of our personality which we should really be taking care of is what? Our mind. It has to be a beautiful, strong, focused, concentrated, well-intentioned, compassionate, humane mind. When we say humane, that's exactly what we mean. So the mind has to be what? Humane, beautiful. Now, here we are asked now, the inquiry that we did, we went even deeper in the mind. Now, see, many times this word beyond is used in Vedanta and all that. I am beyond the mind, this word. So I want you to little understand what we mean by this beyond. See, as we said, the mic will never ever be able to see the eyes. Isn't it true? It will never, because the eyes are beyond the mic. Got the meaning of the word mic? Beyond. The mind is beyond the eyes. The eyes will never, for anyone in the world, ever be able to see the mind. No one in the world. The eyes cannot see the mind, full stop. Why? Because the mind is beyond the eyes. Purview of the eyes, it cannot. Similarly, the pure self, the Atma, as we say, is beyond the mind. How do we know this? The only instrument that we have is the mind. How am I going to know something which is beyond the mind? The Atma has to be known as that which is beyond the mind. That is the way it is. Let me explain it in a little. This is what you understand through study, through reflection, through meditation. The Vedantic way is called Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. We understand, we reflect, and we meditate and realize. This is the method of knowing your true self. A little, because in a short time, like 1 hour, one is not going to be able to do these full exercise of realizing who I am. Sometimes it takes years. For someone who's ready, it takes a second. So we'll do a little bit of thinking. Simple, ordinary thinking. You're hungry. There's a beautiful spread of food in front of you. And typical Indian thali. Okay, fine. So now, is the food in the plate you? Obviously not. Then you take a piece of the chapati, put it, with the vegetable, put it, the whole morsel in the dal, a little bit of pickle also. Some of you can identify with what I'm talking. In fact, all of your eyes are already shining. Little papadam on top of it. Now, this morsel of food that's in your hand, is that you? No. You put it in your mouth. You chew on it. That morsel in the mouth, is that you? No. It goes in. And sometimes, unfortunately, it comes out. Now, that which comes out, is that you? Of course not. Now it's gone. It's got digested. It's become of blood and bone. Some part of it comes out. Naturally, that's not. It's now become what? Blood and bones. Now, at what stage did that food become you? How can it be you? When you say, I am that body, at what stage in this whole process did it become you? How could it have become me all of a sudden? When it is in this stage, it was not me. This stage, it was not me. This stage, it was not me. As it was this, some part of it went away. That was not me. Everything was not me, not me. And then it became the body. It became all my blood and cells and bones and everything, and it became me. How? At what stage did it become? Yes. So we think. Mind. The body, okay, we understand. But the mind, it's so close to you. It's so close to me. How can I say I'm not? If I'm unhappy, I say I am unhappy. Try to tell that person, no, you're not the mind. That person is, no, I am unhappy. That's my sorrow. I am so unhappy. How can you say I'm not that sorrow? Okay, yes. 2 minutes back or 2 hours back, you were eating your laddu. And at that time, you were what? Happy. So, that happy thought went. So many thoughts came in between and all went. And that time, each of the thought was there. I am happy. I am unhappy. I am sad. I am mad. I am glad. I am whatever. So which one of that was you? The one thought that went away, the one that will go away, the one that has not yet come. Which one of them is you? And they're all different. Huh? So when you say, I am unhappy, What is this? There is some entity called I, which is identifying with this, what? Mind, and saying, I am unhappy. The thought goes away, the happy thought comes, and this I identifies with that and say, I am happy. That goes away. Similarly, the body. And I was a child, I am a child. When I'm older, then I'm old. I am young, I am. So there's one entity which is identifying with us, body and mind. This entity we call the Jiva. I'm bringing one more factor into the fact. So one is the body, then we have the mind, then we have the Jiva. The Jiva is this individuality which is living, which is the life principle, which is what I call me as an individuality, which is identifying with this body mind, which is owning the car and this whole vehicle and doing all the actions in the world. So, Vedanta says, Dehoha mityeva jadasya buddhihi dehe cha jive vidushastvahandi viveka vijnanavato mahatmaha brahmaha mityeva mati sadatmani. So there are three levels of thinking on this question, who am I? The very, very ordinary, which majority of us do live in, is the notion, I am the body. Instead of me being the owner of this vehicle, I am the vehicle. This is what I am the body. Is a basic, and most of us have this, which is nothing wrong. I mean, see, one should not think of that as an inferior or something. No, it's just that we've not put our mind to whatever it is. So that's what I'm thinking. So there's nothing inferior or superior about being able to think or having had the chance to think. It's just a blessing. That's about it. So this body, Deho, this is the level of the thinking which says, I am the body. Then the second order of thinking, and which also is a big jump, a great achievement, is to understand that I am the Jiva. I am the entity, I am the individuality which is owning this body right now. I am the one who goes through my life, goes through lifetimes. The minute you understand I am the Jiva, you understand immediately that this is one life in innumerable lives that I have had. The whole entire thinking expands. Then in this body I may be 20, 30, 50, 60, this. But I as an individuality who's been taking on this body, giving up this body, taking on another body, giving up that body, has been living for a long, long, long time. I am the Jiva who owns this body, who drops this. In the deep sleep state, I drop it. But this is a very, very beautiful, I want to take you back a little bit to this thought that I am that eternal and infinite happiness. Yeah. So, just think of it. In the deep sleep state, thank God we've got this deep sleep state. Because this is one of the fantastic examples that you and I can have of understanding that there can be happiness without any thing, being, relationship or circumstance. In our deep sleep state, what is that? Are you a father or a brother or a mother or a daughter? Are you an Indian or a Muslim or a Hindu or anything? What relation do we have? What circumstances are there? What world is there? What object is there? What favorite and loved thing is there? Nothing is there. And yet, with zero exception, we all love the deep sleep. Why? Because I'm so happy. I have no object. And yes, I enjoy objectless happiness. So there is something called objectless happiness. And can you measure your deep sleep state? How much without the watch outside? You can't. There is no time. There's no space. There's no concept of that. And yet I am happy. And how do you know that I exist? Of course, I exist because I wake up and I say, yes, I was sleeping. So that was an I. I did not go away. So there was an I, and there was, therefore, they say, this I, this self, is eternal and infinite happiness. So as I said, the body identity as I, and the Jiva identity as I, the one that traverses through lifetimes, has got this wonderful human body to achieve this one and only goal of being able to even know this eternal self. And when this Jiva attempts and succeeds in knowing this eternal self, the journey of the Jiva ends. The very purpose for which we have got this human body is served. This, in the language of Sanatana Dharma, is called moksha or liberation. To know that I am this eternal, infinite happiness is the very goal of life. Now, you would say, can you give us some way, a little bit of somewhere getting close to this? Is it the experience of only some rare people who've done a lot of meditation or whatever? Or can I also understand a glimpse of it without going into deep sleep? Because you cannot say, okay, every time I must go to deep sleep to find out that I'm eternal. That is not going to be. Anyway, what is the use of that in my waking state? Which is the state in which I feel what? Miserable. So what is the use of knowing that I'm eternal and infinite happiness every time I go to a deep sleep state? That's no good. Because this is my life. So it is possible. A, to understand you're not the body. All of us can do this little exercise. Try it right now. We have said what? That drashta is different from the drishya. Now what I want you to do, very interesting. See, we say, I am the body. This is what we say normally. No? I am fat, I am thin, I am tall, I am short, whatever. So we say, I am the body, right? So the I and the body is in the same case. Like your grammar in school, no? I and the body, the same case. It's not that I know the body. Knowing the body will make it into what? Into the second case. Here you say, I am the body. We don't say, now. Interestingly, try to experience. Very interesting. First I proved you're not the body. Now I'm trying to say, try to experience I am the body. Very interesting. What are you supposed to do? You're trying to experience what? I am the body. Meaning what? Your body experience cannot be different from your I. The minute you know your body, that means it's not a I am the body experience. It is I know the body experience. Okay? Try this. If you need to focus your attention, close your eyes and focus and think. Try and experience I am the body. The minute you experience I am knowing the body, no, not that's not the experience I want. I want the experience I am the body. Try it. Right now you're feeling the body. You're thinking of the body. The very fact that you're thinking of the body, you're feeling the body, you have objectified the body, you are not experiencing I am. This gives us a terrific, when we are told in books, I'm not the body, we always say, I have not experienced it. Right now you are experiencing it. This moment you are experiencing what? That I am different from the body. Knowing the body, I know it is different. I have never, ever, all through my life, ever experienced I am the body. And yet, I say I am the body. Isn't it strange? This is called Maya. And Vedanta says Maya, we think some Maya, some lady is standing up there doing something. No, this is Maya. I have never experienced. I am the body. And yet every transaction of my life happens on the basis I am the body. Isn't it strange? Your own experience has never been that. And yet, every experience of mine, every transaction of mine with the world is on the basis I am the body. Strange indeed is this power of Maya, and great indeed is this, liberating indeed is this knowledge of who I am. If you can only have this knowledge, then the world becomes a beautiful place to live in. Why? Because I know that I am the source of all happiness. I am that eternal infinite happiness. And I am what I look for. We are celebrating the World Health Day and also the World Yoga Day. As I said, even if I understand I am the Jiva, to keep the body healthy is extremely important. Because until and unless you have a healthy body, we are not going to be able to think about any of these thoughts. With a pain in my stomach, very difficult to say I am not the body. So health is our wealth. And a healthy world, a healthy society will definitely make us happier and prosperous. Thank you for inviting me on the occasion of the 3 months or 6 months that you are celebrating and leading up to the World Yoga Day. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening to me. My prayers for the well-being of everyone. Hari Om and Namaskar. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.